So the title is a little bit of a lie. The concept of today's video is because I was shopping on oliveyoung.com. Usually whenever brands have celebrities as like models, for example, today's video, Twice Sana, Miss Sana of Twice, she's the model for this brand called Wakemake. If you go on Olive Young, each, like the product description, the icon for each item, it'll be like, oh, Sana's pick. But like, especially these idols or celebrities, that they'll be like a model for like a brand you'd find in Olive Young, like a mid to lower brand, but they'll also be brand models for like more high-end prestige. But girl, you know damn well she did not have Wakemake up in her bag unless they're paying her. Who knows, maybe they are her picks, but usually that is not the case. Today wasn't really supposed to be a full face of Wakemake makeup because there is other stuff, but it kind of almost ended up being that way. So we're gonna do Wakemake today, and we'll see if Miss Sana delivers. All right, put on the duck band. Let's start with I don't know what the fuck is happening with my hair. I got it permed, so I washed it and then I didn't do anything. I just let it air dry, so it's like this. If you've ever heard of the brand called Papa Recipe, they're most famous for their honey sheet mask. This one, which was like a big thing back in the day, but to me, honestly, it still holds up as like my favorite face mask because my skin just feels transformed after using it. So if you're gonna look for face masks, sheet masks, look into these ones. But I brought this up because I have a hyung that works at Papa Recipe. He is busy as hell. He had the time to meet me for a little bit because he lives in Jeju-do now after he got married, and he gave me a bunch of stuff from Papa Recipe. And Papa Recipe collaborated with this Tupperware brand, like a famous Tupperware brand in Korea called Lock and Lock, and it was like a box that came with toner pads and like obviously the Lock and Lock Tupperware, and I was like, oh, cute. The skincare brand collaborated with some housewares brand. I guess I can put my like leftover kimchi in there, but he's like, no, you use that for the contact pads. I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. The packaging that the toner pads come in look like this. It's literally just like a little packet, a sachet thing of them. I did the carrot one, I forgot what it's for. And he said once you use all the toner pads in there, you can just use it as a regular like Tupperware. And I just thought that was really cute. It doesn't feel like glass, I think it's just plastic. Because usually you would assume that this Tupperware is like glass. I took a shower earlier because, here's the thing. So I was shopping at Olive Young, right? They have this option where it says 오늘 드림, which is they'll give it to you today. Basically, they'll have someone go to the store, pick up your items for you and send it to your house that day from like your closest Olive Young, because there's so many fucking Olive Youngs everywhere. Two of the items, specifically this eyeshadow palette and this new Amuse vegan cushion, a matte one. This one. They have like a set of them for like that 오늘드림 option, and I guess they were just sold out. So I had to order most of the items in my cart. I was able to get that day, but then the eyeshadow palette and that cushion I had to like wait, like it said like 5 days, which is kind of ridiculous for Olive Young and for a Korean sort of like delivery thing because it's usually fast in Korea. Anyway, I was like, okay, I'll get the products and then I can film this video. However, a day before the day said it would arrive, and actually it said, oh, 배달 완료, which is your package arrived. But I'm sitting there like, there's no package in front of my door. I was like, whatever. I really didn't feel like dealing with like, you know, especially being in Korea, like I have no idea, like I wouldn't know how to begin to like solve that issue. So I just like walked my ass over to the Olive Young. Luckily, they had the cushion in stock, and like there's two Olive Youngs in Itaewon. One of them had this, so thank God they had it. However, on my way back home, I was passing by the house next door. What do I see on the front step? An Olive Young package. I'm pretty sure that was my package because my house is technically on the second floor or whatever. However, it's like building wise, it's kind of like the third floor. So a lot of delivery people get confused. Anyway, I'm over it, so. I got this from, because you know how I do all these videos with Eddie on Style Korean. I was like, you know what? I'm back on the grind with the K-beauty content, so why y'all send me some stuff? So I asked for like vegan stuff because I've actually been kind of into it. I think it's because my idea of vegan products was that they were all kind of basic and just like, oh, like shea butter. Oh. I feel like K-beauty brands actually, because there's so when you go to Olive Young, they have like the label vegan, and my issue was like when it comes to like makeup, I think that they're not pigmented enough or like the quality's not as good. However, I'm starting to think the K-beauty brands are like kind of killing it with the vegan stuff. So I was like, just send me a bunch of vegan stuff. COSNORI, they have like they sent me some COSNORI stuff, but this is the Avocado eye cream for face. You know the textures of like eye creams are generally thicker than moisturizers, but this one is for the face. I guess it's almost inspired by that original AHC eye cream for face, which was targeted more for like ajumas and like older people. 근데 I tried it yesterday and I like it because it's very 쫀쫀해. It's very like thick, but not like rich, oily. Because I don't know, my idea of vegan products would be that they're oily because they have a lot of natural oils, but it's really just a really thick, rich moisturizer that's absorbs quickly, like it's already gone. It doesn't feel heavy, but it's like rich. For sunscreen, before I go to the makeup, I was looking through the Wakemake stuff and they have a vegan clean tone up sun cream. Whenever products have the word tone up, especially when it comes to sunscreen, I just assume it's because you know how a lot of sunscreens have the natural like white cast to them. I think they kind of just like use that as like a marketing ploy because tone up products are quite popular in Korea, especially during the Corona times, because they didn't really want to, a lot of people didn't want to wear foundation, but they wanted to even their skin tone a little bit, so they would wear tone up sun creams, which would brighten the skin tone a little bit. I feel like these really only work for people that are already light to fair skin. If you have like light medium to any darker skin, it will just look ashy on you. I tried it in my hand, and actually as a sunscreen, it feels really good. So this is the Wakemake Vegan Clean Tone Up Sun Cream, SPF 50, PA Quadruple Plus. But there was something I saw in the package that was really weird. I was like, oh look, vegan. This is the box. Very cute. Is this too bright? But on the box, on the side, it says, amazingly gentle, moisturizing, and refreshing inorganic UV protection sun cream. I was like, inorganic? Then doesn't that mean it's like not vegan? I don't know, that was confusing. The texture is just like that. It's actually pretty thick. So, 근데 it's very 촉촉해, which is what I like. I don't like sun cream. Any tone-up product, because a lot of the tone-up products from like a year or two ago were very like powdery in finish. So that's why I would never ever use them, because they would make my skin not only look whiter, but also drier looking. So it's just adding to the ashy effect. The texture is nice, however, I wouldn't say it's like my go-to kind of sun cream kind of texture, because I prefer sunscreens that are very like basically moisturizer. And there's one new one from Etude House that I really am excited to try. It was a collaboration product between Etude House and director Pai, who's a really famous YouTuber in Korea, but she was like a cosmetic formula person. She gives you really great recommendations on product based on the ingredients themselves, and she gives very in-depth, thorough reviews. So I think a lot of her videos actually have English subtitles as well, so I would check her out if you are into K-beauty. And it's still leaving my skin feeling very 쫀쫀해. In English, 쫀쫀해 is like kind of like chewy, gummy. I don't like when things are like sticky or whatever, because people are like, oh my god, the primer whatever is sticky, so my foundation is gonna stick so well. I don't like that, because for me, throughout the day, it just ends up like cracking and looking really nasty, but this sun cream feels really nice. Now, I'm gonna use this new Wakemake vegan cushion, but before that, y'all, I cannot let go of this HERA primer. It's this powder, it's a primer that's in a powder form, like a compact powder. And it's gotten to the point where I will literally not wear any base makeup without putting this on first. And there is a brush that comes with it, which is really convenient. You just go and then wipe it. However, I've gotten lazy with that, and I've literally just been using this brush from Philly Millie, which if you are in Korea, you can get to Olive Young, pick this brush up. I actually have two of them, one for this primer and one for shading, because it's actually meant for shade. I thought it was a foundation brush, but it's actually a contouring brush. It's a great shape for contouring, but the surface level is much wider than the brush in here. So I just feel like it's much faster, but that just smooths out the skin. As great as this primer is, I guess it wouldn't be good for if you want like a really dewy finish with your foundation or whatever, because it's powder, so you're technically powdering your face, right? You might be wondering, oh, can't you just use regular powder on your face? I have no idea, to be honest. I've never actually really tried that. Just like a thin layer all over. You don't want to like completely coat your face in this, because you might just make your face look dry, especially if you're using a matte foundation on top of it already. What I find is that, how do I explain it? My natural oils do come through a little bit, but it like melds the primer with the foundation, and it looks just really beautiful at the end of the day, rather than looking like broken down and oily and cracked or whatever. Literally, like, this is like a must-have for me. It is HERA, so it's not cheap, but I honestly, if you're oily skin, my skin is dehydrated, but of course I do have oil because it's dehydrated, especially now that it's warmer. Great for if you need pore coverage along with oil controls, or in general you find that your foundations just break down on your skin for some reason. We'll try the Wakemake Vegan Clean Pure Cover Cushion. This is the package. I believe it's made of recycled plastic. One tiny gripe that I think is like super like random that I think nobody really cares about, but I noticed is that it's quite a thin kind of package, I guess. But the button right here, usually when you're gonna pull out your cushion to use it, you hold it like this, you push the button, and then you like would do that, right? But because the bottom part is quite narrow, the button is also narrow, but like the angle that it's at, when you're holding it like this, like the actual surface area for you to push it is so tiny. I've noticed that if you're holding it because of the texture of it, it's just a shiny material. If you push it and your finger slips, it will pop out. It will go flying in the fucking air, right? Instead of pushing it like this and then opening it like that, what I would do is kind of from the top side do this. It's so random, but so it looks on the inside, very aesthetic. You get your puff. I did try it on my hand. It seems okay. And then I got it in shade number 22 Neutral. Again, when we're using cushions, the best way to use it not best way. I guess the best way to get like a more controlled amount without putting too much on your face, because with the nature of how you use cushions, it's very easy to like get too much. Using your middle finger, push in the center of the cushion. So you have the product in the center, and then starting here, the puff surrounding that little blob of foundation that you put on it will blend it out. As opposed to if you put all the foundation at the corner here, then you start getting like the marks. You know what I'm talking about, when you, especially around here, you get like the dents. The color seems to be a good match. Now let's say you are the lazy type and you don't want to be doing all that mess, and you are the type to kind of just do this. If you happen to do that, actually the sponge in here is really hard, so it's great for portion control. Use the lid to kind of spread it evenly on the puff. That way you get an even amount. Back in the day when cushions first came out, the sponge that's in here is really spongy and squishy, so it like was hard to control the amount. You end up wasting the product way faster. Like I remember back in the day, I would use these cushions in like a week. It was really bad. I really need to keep these boxes from this stuff because I use these things just to show you guys, but I never actually do like a research on the products. So it's not like I can give you information on stuff. Maybe I'll put it like on the screen or something if I'm not lazy. What I was saying is that these days, a lot of cushions, the sponge in them is much harder. So it holds the foundation better. So when you're pushing in, you get less product on the puff, which means it's easier to control the amount. Therefore, you're not using as much in one go, and your cushion lasts longer. And you also get a thinner finish on this, because the main goal when it comes to foundation, cushion, liquid, whatever, you want a thin layer on the skin, because the thicker the layer of foundation and base makeup on your skin, if you touch it, if you get it on your mask, it creates marks and dents, and that's not what we want. That's a very important topic in K-beauty that a lot of YouTubers, reviewers, manufacturers, brands talk about, is two things: adherence and like thinness of application. I don't know if it was because of my the skincare and like the primer that I use, but I got a pretty thin, even coverage. Pure cover. I don't know about that. Also, didn't want to put too much anyway because I do have a Wakemake concealer. I don't think there's anything special about this concealer. It's just apparently supposed to have really good coverage. And I tried it on my hand, and it does a thing I like, which is fills in the lines really well. When you try concealer in store, if it kind of slips and slides around the lines in your hand, that means when you're blending on your skin, it's just gonna like blend like water, and you're not really gonna get any coverage. You're gonna have to keep layering it. This is a Philly Millie corrector brush. Philly Millie and this Korean YouTuber named Minsko collaborated on this brush. This to me honestly is very similar to the Luna concealer, the tip concealer, because the coverage is similar, and as you're blending it, it's not like watery or anything. It's like it stays where it is. I think this brush is meant to like fill in pores because it's like a pore brush where you can like fill in the pores of the skin. I think one other benefit of using like a primer like I did, the powder primer, because there's a layer of powder underneath, it sticks better. Usually if you don't use a powder primer like that, or if you don't really use a primer in general, sometimes when you're blending the cushion, because you have like your skincare underneath, your moisturizing stuff, or it could be your foundation, it like doesn't really hold on. It kind of like slips over it, but with the powder underneath, it kind of grabs and holds on, which is why I like this primer. It's definitely the kind of concealer that would work really well all over the cheeks because it has that thickness where it can fill in the pores. I'm gonna use some eye primer first before I go into my contour and stuff, just so I give it some time to dry. You wanna apply it like you're kind of like wiping off the product. If you layer your eye primer on top of like concealer under your eye, powder under your eye, but you don't make a thin layer by like rubbing it like this, it will just get thicker and your under eye will get thick and like cakey and gross, so almost apply it like you're wiping it off. This is actually another Wakemake product, which I think I talked about in my last video, the trying vegan kbeauty makeup, but I cut it out because I said the video would have been even longer, but two, it wasn't vegan. These products were in collaboration with one of my favorite YouTubers, Miss HERA. Remember I collabed with Yebin and Unche from Daya a while ago? She did their makeup. Anyway, she's quite popular in the beauty space in Korea. She doesn't really have subs for some of her videos, but I think if you like natural plus idol vibes, I think you'll like her channel. But there's actually two contouring ones. I got the cool one, and there's also a warm one, and she did this highlighting one. The highlighting one, I'm not really, it's too natural for me, but I figured since we're doing one Wakemake makeup, I would use it. But I'm using it with that brush I showed you earlier. It's really easy. You just kind of go in. 잠깐만. Just. My cheekbones here kind of protrude, so I concentrate more here. Almost, you know, like they were like, oh, do a 3, kind of like that, but I keep it more higher up on the cheekbone because I'm trying to make my cheekbone look smaller from the side. It is a little bit powdery, as in there is a slight bit of fallout, but I think the way it blends, and for me it has the right level of pigmentation, because I have the kind of skin tone where it can easily look really muddy and like dirty looking. And then for nose contour, what I've been doing lately is I take this fluff, I use this all the time for my nose contour. It's like this really big, fluffy, loose, angled brush. You want to get the product by like actually like rubbing it into the product. And then usually if there's like a lid to your thing, your product, just do this. This will get the product like in the brush. Because if you do this, and then you just like, immediately, you're just like tapping off all the product you just put on. I literally just, instead of trying to like make a line here, I literally just shade the entirety of the side of my nose, like from here and just straight down. Like that. For this type of nose contour, you really don't want to go like much darker than your skin tone. Maybe like a few shades darker. And in a more grayish tone, and then maybe in the middle, a little bit of the darker color, right in the actual shadow where there's already a shadow, and I'm just enhancing that. Like that. Is my nose crooked? I do have a blemish here, so it almost like from far away, it almost looks like it's part of my contour. It's almost like I put too much contour there, but it's just a blemish. And then the highlighter, which it's all right. It's very hard. And it's like barely noticeable, which I guess, I mean, there are people out there that like that sort of thing, but I just feel like I'm like, what's the point? That I barely even use this myself. Maybe I'll put some on my cheek here just to see. We'll see what it gives. Okay, just like subtle. Here's highlighter, there's nothing. For my nose, I've been very particular about, oh, you know what? Let me show you how I've been contouring. Besides doing the sides of my nose, what I've been doing is here, because I want to give myself like a button nose, but also here. I notice if I like completely only do the sides and I completely highlight this, it makes my nose look too tall, and like from here down, I look like a cartoon character. So I break up my nose a little bit by shading in these two areas and then highlighting between. And right between there. So it's more of that kind of nose. Yes. I feel like doing these YouTube reviews or whatever I do, especially with the base makeup, I want to show you what it can do on the skin. So I feel like sometimes I do put more than I usually put like in my daily life, because if I just put like a very light layer, it's kind of like not showing you anything. I bought this for, I think I bought it for that vegan video, but I ended up forgetting about using it, even though it was sitting right in front of me. The brand's so natural. Their makeup fixes are very popular, but they came out with a vegan one, which to me, I'm like, does it even do anything? I like the way it smells. It smells almost like a cactus, if that even has a smell. And the mist is super fine, but I use it mainly as a kind of thing to kind of just like settle down all the powders on my face. Should we do eyeshadow? No, let me do my brows first. Let me do my brows. Skinfood, this shit. Choco eyebrow powder cake. I really don't have to do too much to them. I just need to kind of make them look a little bit more like they're there. When I got my brows done, I made sure to like, because you're supposed to like not touch them for like several days, but I was like, fuck it, and I like just washed my face almost immediately after, because I'm not gonna be wearing makeup every single day, so I don't want to be like barefaced and then all of a sudden you see these like blocks of brow on my face. So I made sure to still maintain some level of like naturalness about, like, my brows look more even compared to like my brows before the tattoos, but that they're not like just stamps on my face. Originally, this is sold out everywhere because it got so popular. It's another product that YouTuber Minsko made with the brand Espoir. She came out with like this whole brow line, and this is one of the products. It's an eyebrow wax, and the clear one was always sold out. But my Sean Oppa over from StyleKorean.com was able to get his hands on it, and he sent it to me. So I guess it's available on Style Korean. But it comes with a brush. You kind of just dip that shit in there. I think it's very similar to the Anastasia brow freeze, but this one, I don't know, I like this one a lot more for some reason. It actually holds. The other one, and my brows aren't like strong either. They're not like thick, but that brow freeze from Anastasia was just like kind of not giving. Like that. Very subtle. I do wish the brush that they gave you though was more like you could fold it, not fold it, but like bend it. When you bend it, it kind of just snaps back to where it is, as opposed to ones like this one, that you can buy separately, that you can do that, because when you start using up all the product, you have to get deeper into the pot. But with this one, because it's so short and it doesn't bend like this, you kind of be like sticking the thing in there, and you're basically just be doing this. You're only getting on the end of the brush, and that's not what you want. So I guess that's the downside about the applicator, but okay, just brushing that up. Now let's get into eyeshadow. So according to Miss Wakemake, this is Sana's pick, I guess. There are 4 different palettes, but this is the number 4 Blooming Garden, and they were selling it with like this perfume stuff, Eau de Parfum, which I am probably not gonna use. I just wanted to show you the packaging because I'm really just here for this girl. Smells fresh. As soon as I said, wow, smells fresh, there were notes of like ass in there. This is the Wakemake Mix Blurring Eye Palette in number 4 Blooming Garden. And I believe because of my light, I'm not sure, I'm looking at my monitor, but it comes out differently. It comes out like less saturated on my monitor. In general though, it's not like super high saturated colors. They're all very like toned down muted colors. I think I want to use this shade for like my lid color. Normally I would go in with the base shade before this, the lighter color. However, I notice if I do that and try to put something like this on top, it really does not show, it just like sloughs off, especially all the little shimmers and glitters in there. So I'm putting that on my lid first, and then I'm gonna be using like this color. That really looks like white on camera. This color to blend that out as like the border color, my little transition color, if you will. Putting the same base color on my lower lid. Let me use this one. This is a brush. Remember my brand View 92? I was gonna collaborate with that brush brand I really like called Cheer Pace's 7 Face. It never happened, but this is one of the test brushes that we had, and I love it for my kind of like deepening base shade because it's like dense, but it's like flat, but it has like an almost like edge to it. So for my eye shape, it's perfect for getting just that elongating shape. This pink shade, I think I want to kind of put it on like the outer corner there. And then of course I'm using the much deeper, it's like a very cool neutral brown for my guideline, because there are some eyeliners that I want to show you. This is literally just going on like the very lash line, and also kind of here on the inner corner. If you're using a lot of like whitish colors as well, it can make your whole eye look like swollen. So it's good to use colors like that around the lash line to keep your eyes looking defined. And also because I'm wearing blue contact lenses today, I need to make sure I'm defining my eyes more, because my eyes will look like, I look like a zombie. Now, there are glitters in here, and you know we gotta use them. So I'm gonna use this one up here, Jasmine, on my finger, because these work the best with fingers. 너무 이뻐. Like that. If you start putting it all over, then it gets a little bit messy looking. And that really pumped it up. That really pumped it up. But now, because that highlight is so intense, now I feel like I kind of have to deepen all the colors around it just a little bit, just to balance it. Wakemake came out with a line of pencils that are part of the Real Ash pencil liners, and they're all supposed to be like muted, toned down, like, because you know you have your regular like black, brown, but this line is supposed to be like muted, toned down version of that. If you find that like you have natural makeup, but then you use like a straight up black liner, like you need your eyeliner, but just straight up black looks way too intense for you, this line is for you, I guess. However, they're all pencil liners, which we love pencil liners in this house. However, they're like those tiny, skinny ones, which, yes, great. We love a skinny eyeliner, but they're very hard. And that looked like really smooth, right? And I'm like, yeah, smooth. But on the eye, especially on my eye, it just hurts putting it on. Beautiful color. It's a really great color. Okay, that's definitely more cool toned. I don't know, I just remember using it, I'm like, this hurts, because the color wasn't really coming off, and it was so skinny, I felt like I was poking my eye. I'm gonna try soft brown, because it's such a cool tone look. Maybe I can balance it up with a little bit of warmness. But again, I'm not an eyeliner person, so I'm just using this to kind of adding depth to the liner that I did put, because I use that shadow as like a guideline. Like, do you see that? I feel like I'm not putting anything on. And I don't know if it's just because I'm crazy, but... did that do anything? I don't know. I still prefer my Mertzi eyeliner pencils because those are smooth, easy to blend, but they dry down to like a finish that it just does not come off. So I'm just gonna use that really dark shadow in the palette to blend that out. I'm gonna take my little Face Shop glitter silicone brush thing, and I'm using this one. If I look down at my monitor here, a lot of this is like covered. If I look up here, maybe you can see better. 이쁘네. However, I feel like it's more of like a shimmer that you put on your lid rather than your 애교살, because it's so like kind of thin. Those thin shimmers I feel like are better for the lid rather than the lower lash line, because they tend to fall down, and I don't like it when the lower lash line glitter is like thick. I tried wiping off the liner with this blue tissue, and it doesn't seem to come off, so that's good. I don't know, whatever. This is why I don't fucking do eyeliner. Now, I know I do not wear eyeliner, and I know I don't really use mascara. I use mascara, but really just like very gently on the lower lash, just to give you, so you can see the lower lash line here. But today, you know what? I'll give you the full look, bitch. I'll give you the full fantasy. So I'm gonna go with mascara and everything just for you guys. I forgot what the name of the shop was, but it's almost like a Daiso, I guess. It was from the Philippines, and it's this really cheap lash curler, but I love this shit because one, it's automated to like, it automatically like pops back up into this position, which makes it so much easier to like properly curl, because when it's the type where you have to physically do this, I don't know, I feel like I run the risk of like catching the skin. But also, I think you're supposed to cut this off, but I like to keep it on there just to, when I store it, I can hold that in place, because otherwise it's just always open. Also, I love the curvature because my eyes are so round, so going in. You know what, let me go all kbeauty on your asses and use the lighter. Okay. I do have the eye shape where I don't really need to do curling the lashes, but I really want to show you guys. Doing that kind of really just curls the center lashes, so in order to curl the inner and outer lashes, clamp the lash, and then for the inner corner, as you're clamping out, pull this way, so you really get those inner lashes, and then for the outer corner lashes, go this way. So you get a generally even curl. For mascara, part of that Ash kind of line of liners, they came out with a Real Ash long curl mascara. Long end curl? I really like the color, it's very ashy. Again, if you're more into like natural makeup, but you find the black, straight up black mascara is too strong, and you want just something more to define your lashes, but you want something a little bit more than just clear mascara, this is a good like between. They give you very clean lashes. They're not super thickening. Which is why I personally like it. Because again, I'm not looking for like super long, thick, luscious lashes. Whatever you have just kind of shows that you have them, if that makes sense. And I believe there's like little fibers in here. But the formula, it dries really fast, so I'm assuming it's waterproof. I met my friend recently who's going to debut as an idol. He's from Hong Kong. And apparently he's friends with Vivi from Luna. So I was like, yes, bitch, can you please tell her I stan her so hard? Tell her that they did her dirty by basically not putting her in any shots in fucking Queendom. Do we see it? Do we see what's happening here? You know what I want to try? I bought these tweezers. They're from Picasso, that brush brand. And unlike regular tweezers, they're more like just like these blunt tweezers. And I think these are meant for like, because these days, that technique of like clumping your lashes together, like to give you the idol lashes or whatever. I've seen people on like YouTube and like Instagram, they'll take their mascara and their tweezer like this. It worked, I guess. Am I living for it? I have no idea. It works, but I don't think this technique is for my eyes, to be honest. I think it makes me look a little bit crazy. Usually, artists will put individual lashes and then do this, so it looks more full, but I think since I only use my natural lashes, she's looking a little bald. It looks like, you know, Cynthia from Rugrats. I'm kind of living with everything. It's still... She's not giving sauna exactly. However, the eye look is actually really pretty. I think the only thing, like, I think I did a pretty good job on this side. I think. It still looks not the best, but I think I'm more so happy with the fact that I was able to just even do it at all. I saw this in store and I felt so 반가웠어. Like I felt so like, oh my god, nostalgia. I used to use this so much back in the day. The Skinfood Peach Bosom MultiFinish powder. That's how, I'm so sorry, that sounds so Koreaboo. This is what it looks like. I wonder if it still smells like peach. I can't tell. Yes. Let's see how well it covers this. Yes. Come on, peach powder. Honestly, with that primer that I used, I don't really powder my base makeup these days. I think it's because I'm sitting in front of the camera in front of this light and I'm talking that I'm getting a little bit more almost sweaty. But also I'm gonna be putting blush on, so I think it would be good to have a smooth finish. In the palette, there's a blush. It's called Sweet Very Petty. Lately I've been using this kind of, it's a blush brush. And I literally just dig that shit in there. Literally, I like do this. And then on the lid of the product, do this. So it's in the powder brush. And you still have some extra left there. The first thing I do is I tap. Dip back into the powder that's on the palette. There's glitter on my face. Tapping, and then kind of wiping now. Some under the nose, on the chin, on the forehead. When you do it in these areas, it will come off more as like an overall flush. Unless you know you're going for like straight up just blushed cheeks. It's a very light blush. It's like not noticeable at all. It's very subtle. In general, my impression of this palette is it seems very whitish in person compared to what I saw in like the pictures. Or also it might be because I used that finishing powder beforehand. Usually if you, it's like a double, it's like this weird thing where putting blush on top of your foundation that's hasn't been set, you get more pigment, but you might run the risk of it getting splotchy and not blending, and you might, that's why I tapped, because if you do this from the beginning, you might erase your foundation. So using a powder beforehand can give you a smoother surface to work on, but also because there's that powder, sometimes the pigment just doesn't go on as well. 근데 뭐, it's natural, so in general, I don't expect much pigment from this type of blush anyway, because if you swatch it, it's white, which if you have light to fair skin can actually come up as like a blush on you, but obviously on people like me or deeper, straight up just like either ash or like barely noticeable on me. But what I do like is that I can use that for my lip liner. I love using colors like these nudie tones as well as blushes like that because I can use it to kind of cheat my lip line or blur it out at least. Lately I have to do this before I do my lip makeup because my lip shape is kind of uneven. You can use either your blush or the color you use as your base. You just want something that's close to your skin tone, between your skin tone and your lip color. This is really useful if you have like, your lips are like a normal lip color, but right on the edges, it's very like dark and ashy. This can help kind of lift that color up. You see how it's more like blurred? And because it's actually powder, it will help your lip color last a little bit longer. Now, I went a little bit crazy on the lip products because there was 2 formulas I wanted to try, and each formula I got 2 colors that I wanted. There's this one, the Wakemake Watercoloring Pure Tint. The packaging is gorgeous. Look at this. I got this in the shade Rich Peach. Ooh, on the website, it almost looks like a kind of like soft, not nude, but like a warm, kind of soft natural color. And this one is the shade Pink Me, which is definitely more up my alley. It's pink, but it's not like super like, I thought looking at the package it would be like Barbie pink, but it's more of like a coral pink. Almost has almost like a warmth to it. Maybe we should try this. That's pretty bright. So initial layer, and then a little bit more in the center. Let's give it a second, because a lot of these tints these days, these glossy tints, you give them a second to set and they become more shiny. This is the staining power. The color's deepening a little bit, but I don't like that color. If it's pinks, I'm more into like rosy pinks or like mauve pinks. The one I do want to try that I think I like a little bit more are these. You would think, looking at this package, they would be like watery, glowy tints, but they're actually matte. Can you read that? I can't fucking read that. Anyway, I got in the shade Autumn Muley and Favorite. That's more of a... It looks different on camera. Autumn Muley, and this is Favorite. They're both very similar, but the Favorite one is a little bit more a rosy pink, and the Autumn Muley is more on the warm side. Almost like a chilly color, but not too warm. And the staining power is a little bit more. But it goes on watery, but it actually has a more matte blurring finish, which is a lot of companies are doing this formula these days. And it's my go-to lip colors from 3C. It's like this formula, kind of. So it goes on watery. However, the finish is very matte and blurring. You want to be careful. You want to make sure your lips are completely dry, because if you have any spit on the inside, it gets caught in that and it looks really nasty. So, and also you can't really layer this. So while it's still wet, you kind of have to put all the amount that you're gonna put. Also because my hair... No, not the... Ugh. Now, were we into Sauna's picks today? The eyeshadow palette, I actually like. The blush, I'm gonna try it to see if it, like, if I don't powder my face and like if it's a little bit more pigmented that way. But I do like the color combination that they put in here, and it's a very convenient palette to use because it's just obviously very daily. Even the glitters in there are not too crazy. The cushion, I saw really good reviews for this, and I've only tried it now, but I like it so far. Of course, I have that the HERA powder primer underneath this one, so probably gonna like it more. I do like this, the Tone Up Sun Cream. I think I might use that more. Of course, the shading I'm into, I've been using this a lot lately. The highlighter is just okay. For my highlight, I do prefer a little bit more shine and pigment, so that's more on the natural side. The concealer is nice, very thick, so I probably would not use as much as I did. I'll probably put it on the back of my hand and then like use a brush to pick it up in like more of my area, but I definitely see this working better as almost like a spot concealer type of concealer. Covering acne, I prefer more like a cream, but it's more convenient to have this because you can just dot it and blend it, but you just have to make sure that the color matches the base. This is a little bit more yellow than the the actual cushion. So there was that, but I do have like a smooth finish and it covers pores really well. So it would be great, I guess, for using here. Mascara, I love the color. For my daily makeup, I do love using it on my under lash just to get that slight definition. So I do like this one. Not that I don't like the water tints, but I don't really like the color that I tried. So I might try this one on a different kind of makeup. I probably would see myself using this on like if I just did my foundation, like natural makeup, and just want to color my lips, I'll probably use these. This, I knew I would like it because the formula I've been into lately anyway, because I do have other brands that you have this type of tint. I don't mind touching on my lips, but if I don't have to, I prefer that. And this is the type of lip formula where you don't have to, okay, hold on. If you have dead skin on your lips, you might want to exfoliate that first. They have this almost like silicone-y finish, so it feels really smooth and it's not drying like a liquid lipstick. I'd say the only thing is that this liner, not that I don't like this, but it's just not for me. I saw some other beauty YouTubers using this and they seem to enjoy it. I do love the colors, so the colors are great. If you're looking for like a more muted, soft eyeliner color, you might want to look into this collection. Whether or not Sana really likes this stuff, I have no idea. It's all right, it's not bad. I'm looking at my monitor here. I wish you guys could see how desaturated what am I doing? It looks so desaturated on my monitor. So I have to see the footage to see if I'm living for it or if I'm not even gonna upload this video. Goodbye. Maybe we should reuse some of the... Ooh. But also, you can see my acne scarring. In general, I don't put highlighter on my cheeks anyway. I don't know why I'm doing this. I literally just put it on my nose. Anyway, bye.